Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are happy and fine, but maybe a bit worried because some of you can't attend school. But don't worry, we are here to help you. The things we discuss here may be not new to some of you, and this is an effort to refresh your memory and help you learn your language. And today I am here to discuss some other important grammar lessons with you, and let's see what's there on the screen. General English adverbs. My focus is on adverbs today, and I think you can see two pictures on the screen. One is of a baby and the other one is two kids are playing with mud or sand. And what can you say about the pictures? Right? You can see they are using spades and there are some buckets and they are sitting on the soil. And let me ask this question, how are the children playing? Other question is, where is the baby? I raised two questions and let's see how can you answer these two questions. The children are playing happily with the soil. The other one, the baby is smiling inside the box. Now, if I ask the question, where is the baby? He is inside the box. How are the children playing? They are playing happily, right? So, you can see that they are highly interested in what they do, and let's see what is there on the next slide. You can see a picture of a musical show and it seems to be very interesting, and you all are very much interested in listening to music. And the question is, when is the musical show? And the other picture is a person is having some notes in his hand, and there's a fairly big amount of money, it seems, because he has a lot of notes in his hand, right? So, we'll see, he seems to be a rich person, it seems, right? So, when is the musical show is my first question, and what is the answer? How can you answer that question? We can watch the musical show tomorrow. So, when is the musical show? Tomorrow. The next one, why does he work hard? So, he has earned lot of money by working hard, it seems, and he has become rich because he works hard, right? So, the question is, why does he work hard? The answer is, he works hard to be a millionaire, right? The reason is given to become a millionaire, right? So, then there are two questions here. One begins with when, the other one begins with why. Can you remember the first two questions? They were, first question begins with how, the second question begins with where, right? Keep them in your mind. So, the questions we asked to get some answers, right? This is a picture of a destroyed building. Do you like to see a picture like this? I think no. We will be quite unhappy to see something like this. So, I have put a question there, how far has the building destroyed? So, the extent, how far, right? So, the answer is, the building has completely destroyed. Actually, you can't see anything, the broken parts only is visible, right? So, then we can say the building has completely destroyed. So, the question was how far the building has destroyed. Then the answer is the building has completely destroyed. The important word is here completely. You can see that is in a different color, right? Okay children, let's see what's there on the next slide. Right. The questions that I raised right at the beginning are here again. So, can you remember the first question? How are the children playing? The answer was the children are playing happily with the soil. The next one, where is the baby? The answer is the baby is smiling inside the box. I think you can remember the pictures as well. So, here we are just going to put the questions with a purpose. And look at the next question. When is the musical show? We can watch the musical show tomorrow. Next one, why does he work hard? He works hard to be a millionaire. Next one, how far has the building destroyed? The building has completely destroyed. So the question form, how are? Then the first question is how. The second question, WH question is where. The third WH question is when. And the fourth one, why. And the last one, how far. So here the manner, how. And the next one, where, the place. The third one, when, refers to time because the answer is tomorrow. Where, place, and the baby is inside the box, right? So then why does he work hard? The question is why, asking a reason. Then the reason is to be a millionaire, right? Then how far refers to extent. So the building has completely destroyed. So our focus is on adverbs, and let's see the definition for adverbs. Adverbs answer one of these questions. That's why I told you I'm paying attention to those WH questions, right? The first one, how or how much. Next one, when. The third one, where, why, to what extent. All these WH forms refer to a particular meaning, and then when we raise the question how, when, where, why, to what extent, the adverb answers, right? So here there is a picture of a baby, and how is he sitting there? He is sitting comfortably, right? So then he is reading his book happily, it seems. So we can use some adverbs by looking at the picture as well, right? So how is the boy reading his book? He is reading his book happily. How is the boy sitting? He is sitting very comfortably, right? So let's see what's there. Now next slide. What is an adverb? Now I am going to tell you the meaning or the definition of the word adverb. By the way, what is an adverb? What does it belong to? It is one of the words in word classes. You know that verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs are there, and adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb. Adjective or another adverb, don't worry, these things we discuss later on. So here when you take the word a verb, in the word adverb you see the part of verb there. So you can easily remember that an adverb describes basically a verb. Other than that, an adverb can modify or describe an adjective or another verb, right? So let's look at these examples. Ruvani studies hard for the exam. Then hard is the adverb. So what is the question that you can raise? How does Ruvani study? She studies hard. Then for what? For the exam, right? Then we can say the sentence, Ruvani studies hard for the exam. The next one, Kishore's tongue was extremely red after having the drink. So what happened to his tongue? Extremely red. What extent? The intensity or the degree. Extremely, right? So very red. The next example, Suhail arranged the bookshelf very beautifully, labeling the shelves. So how did he arrange his bookshelf? Very beautifully. So it tells the manner, right? So here the words we use hard, extremely, beautifully. So the words extremely and beautifully ends in ly, and it refers to what? Not only manner, because usually there's, I will teach you, there are the word adverbs ending in ly refers to manner, but here extremely red, extent, right? Not manner. Then beautifully, of course, is manner. How? Very beautifully. I think I can teach you certain other things also with the same examples. So let me explain those as well. So look at the first example. Ruvani studies hard for the exam. So, the verb is studies and the adverb hard explains the manner she studies, right. So, Ruvani studies hard for the exam. Next one, Kishu's tongue was extremely red after having the drink. Can you remember the definition here? An adverb can modify a verb or else an adjective. Now, what is the adjective there? Color red and then red. So, how far or to what extent was it red? Extremely red. So, the adjective red is qualified or described or modified by the adverb extremely, right. Then what about the third example? So, Hale arranged the bookshelf very beautifully. So, beautifully again is an adverb. That adverb is again qualified by the adverb very. So, that is why we said at the beginning in our definition that an adverb can describe a verb or an adjective or another adverb. Beautifully, the adverb is described or modified by the other adverb very, right. So, is it clear now? So, the definition is an adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb, adjective or another adverb. I think you have understood it. Right. Ruvani is studying hard for the exam. Hard is the adverb here. That's what I told you right at the beginning when I was explaining the previous slide, and it modifies the verb studying. That example, the verb was study. Here it is studying, right. So, continuous form is studying and the verb is studying is modified by the word hard adverb, right. People wash hands thoroughly as a precautionary measure. Now, these days we are doing it because of COVID, right. So, it is a must. Then people wash hands, the verb is wash. How are we going to wash our hands? Thoroughly, the manner. Then Peter sings loudly when having a shower. Usually when we go to the bathroom, we have bathroom singing, isn't it? We all are going to be singers in the bathroom, right. So, like that Peter also sings loudly when having a shower. So, sings is the verb, loudly is the adverb, right. So, the dog waits greedily for its food. Then the verb is waits, and how does the dog wait? Greedily, the adverb, right. So, I think these examples will help you understand the function of an adverb. Now, how to modify a verb basically, right. So, here did you see that thoroughly, loudly, greedily, we have ended the word with suffix ly. The verb is thorough, thoroughly, then loud, loudly, and then greedy, greedily. We have formed the adverb adding ly, right. So, I think you can have a better idea after reading this example. Kishu's tongue is extremely red after having the drink. So, red, adjective, and extremely is the adverb. So, extremely is the adverb here and modifies the adjective red. The woman in the car is quite pretty. Pretty is the adjective, quite is the adverb, quite pretty, right. Then next example, it's a really big show. Big is the adjective and really is the adverb to modify the adjective big. Really big show, right. So, here the second example is that, and let's see what's there. Third one. So, Hale arranged the bookshelf very beautifully, labeling the shelves. Here what is that? I think you can remember. Beautiful is an adverb, beautiful, and we form the adverb beautifully, right. So, then beautifully, very beautifully, then the adverb is qualified by again another adverb, that is very, right. So, let's see the other two examples given here. Mrs. Pereira always arrives early to the meetings. So, that is the habit, always arrives. It is a sequential adverb, always. We are going to discuss those things in our later slides. We will do that, and till that time just learn Miss Mrs. Pereira always arrives early to the meetings. Next one. Kamala often scores high at any exam. Right? So, high is the adverb, and again often refers to the number of time that happens or something is done. Right? So, when I explain what a sequence adverb is, you will be able to understand these things, and remember that always and often are sequential adverbs. Anyway, these adverbs are here to explain another adverb, arrives early, often, high. So, often is also an adverb, high is also an adverb, always is also adverb, and then early is also an adverb, right. So, what's the types of adverbs? This is very important. Time. So, time, when we refer to time, what is the WH form we use? When, right. So, time, some adverbs are given there, normally, never, next week, yesterday, right. So, then degree, to what extent, or the intensity, right. Somewhat, enough, entirely, virtually. Right now, can you remember completely, totally? We had those words in our examples, right. The building has totally destroyed, completely destroyed. Place, behind, away, anywhere, here, outside. Some of these words you know as prepositions as well. So, these words of course come in different word classes. So, we can take them as adverbs at times, sometimes they are as prepositions. So, do not worry. Now, behind we can take as an adverb of place as well, right. Then frequency, always, usually, generally, occasionally. So, these words are going to explain or tell us the number of times that something happens or something is done. Then manner, the way we do something, right. Frankly, cheerfully, victoriously, kindly, silently. You can see that frank, from the word frank we can just form the adverb frankly. Cheerful, cheerfully. Victorious, victoriously. Kind, kindly, and silent, silently, right. So, now can you remember the type of adverbs? Yes, time, degree, place, and then frequency and manner, right. Adverbs of time. So, what's given there? We use adverbs of time to show the time something happens or is done, right. So, examples, Mary will go to the library tomorrow. They have the practices in the morning. Ranjan never visited his ancestral home, right. Here, tomorrow, of course, very clear, one word, it is an adjective, in the morning. So, there is a preposition as well, in the morning. It is to refer to time, anyway it is a phrase, right. So, Ranjan never visited his ancestral home. So far, he has not gone to that place, and then that is adverb of time and adverb of frequency as well, never, right. So, shall we read them again? Mary will go to the library tomorrow. Next one, they have the practices in the morning. Ranjan never visited his ancestral home. Right. Next, I am going to explain you adverbs of degree. To what extent something can be explained, right. We use adverbs of degree to show the strength or intensity of something that happens. Examples, they played very badly this time, right. So, when you take the cricket team, you can just say they played very badly this time, right. So, very badly, again you can see. So, you can just say simply they played badly this time, and when you say very badly, that degree goes little higher and intensity is higher, right. His idea to close the showroom is completely stupid, completely stupid. Adjective, stupid, completely, adverb. So, this adverb shows the degree, the level, right, completely, totally wrong, totally foolish, that is the idea. I was extremely happy to see my grandparents after ages. Extremely, extremely happy. Just we can say I was happy to see. But when you say extremely happy, it raises or increases the level of happiness, and extremely happy, similar is very, right? Very happy. I was extremely happy. Fine. I think these examples once again will help you to get the point what we are going to say in describing adverbs of degree. Degree shows the level or the intensity or the extent, right? Adverbs of place. So, you have a picture as well. So, look at that picture. We use adverbs of place to show the place that something happens or is done. Right. Examples. He looked upwards at the stars. When you want to see the stars, you have to look up. So, then he looked upwards at the stars, right? The car skidded sideways on the snow. The car skidded. So, when there is some kind of slippery road, the vehicle skids. So, the car skidded sideways on the snow, the place, right, side. Let's go indoors before it rains. Before it rains, we have to go in. So, you are very familiar with this word indoors, because we know that indoor games, outdoor games, right. So, indoor activities, outdoor activities, right. So, indoors. Indoors suggests or hints the idea of place, right. Upwards, sideways, indoors are some adverbs of place according to these examples, right. Fine. Adverbs of frequency, that's what I was telling you. Adverbs of frequency, let's see this definition first, or the meaning of it. We use adverbs of frequency to say how often we do things or how often things happen, right. So, let's see the words that come under frequency adverbs. Always, sometimes, often, frequently, normally, generally, usually, occasionally, seldom, rarely, hardly, ever, never, etc. right? Hardly ever, never. So, do you know the meanings of all these things? Often, frequently, of course, similar, and then normally, generally, usually, what happens? Normal, normally, general, generally, usual, usually, occasional, occasionally. Then seldom refers to again very rarely, again hardly ever, never negative, and then sometimes, not always, right. Then examples. He always wears a shirt and a tie. She normally eats 3 meals a day. I usually buy all my vegetables at the market, right. So, always, normally, usually. I have used in sentences. He always wears a shirt and a tie. That is his costume, right. Then he normally eats 3 meals a day. We also do the same, right. Sometimes being kids, you may eat more than 3 meals per day, but usually that happens, right. She normally eats 3 meals a day. I usually buy all my vegetables at the market. Usually we go to the market to buy vegetables. So, what is the place of adverb here? Wears is the verb, eats is the verb, buy is the verb here in these 3 sentences, and this frequency adverb has come just before the main verb, right. So, he wears subject verb in between this frequency adverb always has come, right. So, we have to place these frequency adverbs when there is an action verb or main verb before the verb, right. So, my next slide will help you understand these things. Always, normally, usually. Remember frequency adverbs. Shall we quickly go through these frequency adverbs again? Always, sometimes, often or frequently, normally, generally, usually, occasionally, seldom, rarely, hardly ever, never, right. Adverbs of manner. manner says the way we do something, right? So, I speak fluently. The boy ran fast. Something like that, the manner. The girls danced happily. So, let's have a look at the meaning or the definition of adverbs of manner. We use adverbs of manner to show how something happens or done. They are usually placed either after the main verb or after the object. Now, let's see some of the manner adverbs we have included in the list. Cheerfully, efficiently, painfully, secretly, quietly, peacefully, carefully, slowly, badly, closely, easily, well, fast, quickly, etc. Right? So, then most of the words end in ly, right? Careful, carefully. We can form it. Efficient, efficiently. Painfully, right? The old man walked on the road slowly, or even slow is correct, right? The old man walked on the road slowly, or the old man walked on the road slow, right? Then I can do this paper easily. One can say like that, right? Easy, easily. That is the adverb we form from the word easy, right? So, let's have a look at the examples. The children were playing happily with their toys. Can you remember the first slide? And the children were playing happily with mud, right? The police dealt with the incident very efficiently, right? So, what is the adverb there? Efficiently. Next one, birds sang cheerfully in the trees. The birds singing, it's of course very cheerful thing, right? So, birds sang cheerfully in the trees, right? The children were playing happily, then the police dealt with the incident very efficiently, and then the birds sang cheerfully. Those are the adverbs of manner, right? Up to now, I think everything is clear to you, right? So, the position of frequency adverbs. Before an action verb, that is the first one, right? So, my brother never quarrels or fights with me or anyone. That's a good quality of my brother, right? So, then my brother never quarrels. So, quarrels is the verb and before an action verb, never. The next one, after a be verb, right? What's the example? Mr. Rahul is always truthful. The subject is Mr. Rahul, the verb is be verb is, and then frequency adverb always comes right after the be verb, right? So, the sentence is Mr. Rahul is always truthful. Remember, when we are going to place a frequency adverb, we have to place it before a main verb, after a be verb, right? Then, when there are two parts for the verb, where can we place this frequency adverb? Right, let's see. The verb, I have already posted the letter. So, what is the verb in this sentence? I have posted. So, have posted is the main verb. So, then there are two parts, have and posted. So, you have to place this frequency adverb in between. So, the sentence comes as I have already posted the letters. Fine. Look at the next example. Have you ever been to the Mount Everest? That is a question. So, have and been. Have you ever been? So, then you is the subject. So, have you, and the other part of the verb is been. So, in between these two main parts of the verb, you can place the frequency adverb ever. It's a question. So, answer can be no, I haven't been, right? Then the third question, do you usually stay at home at the weekend? So, do, stay. Do you stay? So, in between we have placed this frequency adverb usually. Some other similar words to the word usually, normally, generally, we can use those two as well, right? So, then the next example, Are the books often marked by the teachers? Are marked. What are marked? The books. Are the books marked? So, we have placed that frequency adverb often in between those. I do not regularly attend my weekend classes. I do not regularly attend. So, do not attend. Those are the verbs, and do not, you can just say don't as well. So, the two parts of the verb don't and attend. In between, you can put this frequency adverb regularly, right? Regularly. I do not regularly attend my weekend classes. That means you are going to skip your classes. You are not attending the class every weekend. Fine. Correct the mistakes in these sentences. So, I will give you a few minutes, go through them and see whether they are incorrect, one thing, and then what are the mistakes. Right, shall we read? The first one, they are at the bungalow these days hardly ever. Dayal frequently was away from office due to his busy schedule. He speaks fluently 5 languages. Joe has been sent to new school recently, right? So, let's have a look at the answers after reading some more other sentences with mistakes, right? I have paid the electricity bill already. The child became bored with toys soon. It was time for me now to apply for a job. Always people like to hear good news. Never I could find the reasons for my friend's annoyance. That means friend is angry, right? I could not understand the grammar lesson totally today. Sometimes you also may feel the same if you could not follow what I said, right? But I don't think something like that might not have happened. Fine. So, shall we have a look at the answers, children? The first one, they are hardly ever at the bungalow these days. Hardly ever. Dayal was frequently away from home due to his busy schedule, right? Here there is a be verb. That is why we have placed the frequency adverb after the be verb. Did you notice it here? The verb is be verb are. That is why that hardly ever adverb, frequency adverb has gone just after the be verb, right? So, then he speaks 5 languages fluently. There it is not a frequency adverb, so you can just place it at the end. Fine. The next one, Joe has recently been sent to a new school. Now, Joe has been sent. Those are the parts of the verb. 3 parts are there for the verb. So, we have put it in between the verb has and being sent, right? Joe has recently been sent to a new school. Next one, I have already paid the electricity bill. So, there have paid in between the frequency adverb already. The child soon became bored with toys. It is also something refers to time and frequency. So, that is why became is the main verb. Just before that you have placed, or we have to place, the adverb. Then it was now time for me to apply for a job. Now, here was be verb. Just after a be verb we have put the frequency adverb now and the adverb of time, right? People always like to hear good news. Of course, we all want to listen to good news, right? Then people always like is the main verb, always is the frequency adverb, it comes before the main verb. Then I could never find the reason for my friend's annoyance. There are 2 parts I could find. So, in between I have placed the frequency adverb. I could not totally understand the grammar lesson today. Could not understand. There are 3 parts and could not totally understand. To what extent, the degree or the level, right? I could not totally understand the grammar lesson today. Fine. This exercise will give you enough practice, I hope. And what are we going to do next? Let's see some more other types of adverbs. Other than these manner, frequency, adverb of time, adverb of place, adverb of manner, we have focus adverbs as well, right? So, we use focus adverbs to draw attention to one part of the sentence. She was only joking. It was just a joke, right? So, not a serious thing. Next one, he can't even swim. So, this person can't do many things, and swimming is also one thing that he can't do. That is why we have just placed that he can't even swim. The next one, her research isn't just about English, right? So, it is not limited to English. It is just about. So, that is why we say attention to one part of the sentence. It isn't just about English. So, that means he is interested in doing his research beyond this subject English, or some other subject areas are going to be researched, right. Then we can change the focus and the meaning by changing the position of these focus adverbs, right. So, here he was only joking. When you say David works here only on Fridays, that means other days he is not working there, only on Fridays, right. Then only David works here on Fridays. Other than any other worker, David comes here to work on Fridays. No other person comes there to work. Only David works. So, David is the person who comes, right? Other workers are not coming. David works here only on Fridays. The day he comes is Friday. Other than that, other days he is not coming there. That is the idea. So, did you see change in the place of this focus adverb? We can change the meaning of the sentence. So, we have to be very careful when we are choosing these focus adverbs in sentences, because the meaning we want to say will not come out if we place these focus adverbs in wrong places, right. Viewpoint adverbs. So, usually I think according to my point of view, we use these longer forms, and then here we use viewpoint adverbs to describe the perspective or point of view which is being considered. Usually occurs at the end of the sentence or at the beginning with a comma, right. It was not done scientifically. So, sometimes the research may not have done scientifically. So, that is the viewpoint, that is the idea, that is the opinion, right. So, nobody can prove it because scientifically it was not studied, right. Then financially the country is ahead of a big challenge. Financially, from the point of view when we consider finance, then the country has a big challenge. So, we are going to put these things. Financially, the country is ahead of a big challenge due to this COVID. Of course, we know that most of the businesses closed down, people lost their jobs. So, country's economy is at a risk, right. Comment adverbs. We are going to comment using adverbs. We use comment adverbs to include a comment or an opinion about what is said or written. Let's see. It was probably a misunderstanding. So, it's our comment, right, that certain things have happened due to a misunderstanding. So, we say it was probably a misunderstanding. Remember this, we are not going to say that it was a misunderstanding. There again we are using probably, maybe, possibility. We are going to talk about that, right. So, we are not very sure of, but we are going to say the idea that it was probably a misunderstanding, right. Then surprisingly, he had made a cake. So, that is, he has made a cake is something that we can't believe. So, surprisingly, he has made a cake. That means he could do it. So far he has not done, but now he has made a cake, and then we have got surprised. So, we can put these things together. Surprisingly, he has made a cake. I will refund the cost, of course, right. So, then of course, I will refund the cost, of course. So, that is my comment, right. Expectation. We use expectation adverbs to express a connection between events and expectations. You know, do you know the meaning of expectations? We have hopes, we have expectations. Now you all want to study and get through your exams, enter to the university, and then after that to become somebody. You have dream figures, right? So then expectations, earn money, buy a car, build a house, those are expectations, right? Then his plane has already arrived. We are still waiting. My computer no longer works. The family does not live there anymore. The classes haven't started yet. Has already arrived. We are still waiting, right? So my computer no longer works. The family does not live there anymore. The classes haven't started yet. Connection and expectation. Plane has arrived. Still, so already, still, no longer, right? Anymore, yet are these expectations, right? Now this is something to do with your textbook, and these activities, of course, they are on textbook page number 49, and you have to select some adverbs to fill in the blanks. So you can have this exercise written in your exercise books if you want. Right, shall we quickly go through this without wasting much time? Janani swam and won the first place in the race. Jehan plays the piano. He is really talented. Jehan lifted the heavy chair because he is very strong. Azad writes he has the most clearly written notes in our class. Manocha always drives. She is very responsible driver. The adverbs given: beautifully, carefully, neatly, effortlessly, fast. So shall we fill in the blanks? Janani swam and won the first place in the race. What can be the answer? According to this, beautifully is matching? Yes. So what shall be put? Fast, right? Then Jehan plays the piano beautifully or carefully or neatly or effortlessly. Yes, he is really talented. Beautifully, right? Then Jehan lifted the heavy chair because he is very strong. Because he is a very strong person, he doesn't want to take much effort. So the answer is effortlessly, right? Azad writes he has the most clearly written notes in our class, handwritten notes. So what is the answer? Neatly. Right, let's see. Manocha always drives. She is a very responsible driver. So responsible driver. So the remaining word is also there. Carefully, at the same time the word responsible helps you get at the right word. The answer should be carefully. Right, okay. Then let's move on. Match the following questions with the answers. Questions are given. So you get the same pattern. What do you do? What do you do? When you are angry, what do you do when you are happy? What do you do when you are very hungry? What do you do when you are busy? What do you do when you have too many things to do? What do you do when you are stressed? What do you do when you are impatient? So the answers are given. I really jump up and down when I am impatient. So the words are here. You can find the answers very easily, right? I generally laugh maniacally when I have too many things to do. I often eat greedily when I am busy. I usually or rarely weep angrily when I am angry. I often laugh loudly when I am happy. I never complain bitterly when I am hungry. Or then sometimes if mother is late to cook food, some of course are very unhappy and grumbling and say that, oh, still food is not ready. So this person is going to say that I never complain bitterly when I am hungry. I generally breathe slowly when I am stressed. That is the best solution, right? So when you are stressed, you have to breathe slowly and leisurely. Fine. What do you do when you are angry? I usually rarely weep angrily when I am angry. What do you do when you are happy? I often laugh loudly when I am happy. What do you do when you are very hungry? I never complain bitterly when I am hungry. What do you do when you are busy? I often eat greedily when I am busy. What do you do when you have too many things to do? I generally laugh maniacally when I have too many things to do. What do you do when you are stressed? I generally breathe slowly when I am stressed. What do you do when you are impatient? I really jump up and down when I am impatient, right? So I went through these sentences very quickly because the answers were very easy to match. Fine. Position of adverbs. There are three main positions for adverbs which modify a verb. Front position before the subject. Luckily, they found the cause for the illness before it spread further. Now, so far we were talking about, we were paying attention to how to place the frequency adverb. Can you remember the positions of frequency adverbs? Just before a main verb, right after a be verb, and then if there are two parts for the verb, place the frequency adverb between the two verbs, right? So we had enough of exercises to practice that. Here we are going to talk about some other point. Then front position, right? Luckily they found the cause for the illness before it spread further. Maybe coronavirus, right? Then mid position between the subject and verb or immediately after be as the main verb. I have already taught you this. He usually gets a light diet for dinner, right? Usually gets main verb. Before that you get that. And he is rarely seen, passive voice sentence, is seen, rarely, in between, right? Then end position after the verb. I have been waiting for hours. So I have been waiting for hours, that is referring to time, end position, right? I have been waiting for you for ages, like that. Fine. Then types of adverbs that come in the midpoint of the sentences. Again, there's a revision like subject adverb and verb, because I have already discussed the frequency adverbs as shown here earlier. Always, often, rarely, etc. We place that in the mid position. Other than this frequency adverb, we add degree adverbs also in the mid position, right? So then totally, quite, entirely, completely. Can you remember? The building has completely destroyed. So has destroyed in between, completely, right? Degree, extent. Extremely red, right? Focus adverbs, just, even, alone, only. Even Ruth can run fast. That means Ruth even can run fast suggests that the person called Ruth is also capable of running fast, but the person we are talking is not so, right? Then the other one, Ruth even can run fast. That means Ruth is capable of doing many things. Other than that, he can run fast as well. So these are the meanings we are going to convey when we change the place of these certain adverbs. Now here this even and even effect adverb, right? So then types of adverbs that come in the midpoint other than frequency adverbs, the degree adverbs and focus adverbs, of course, we can change the meaning of the sentence using these focus adverbs. Remember that, right? Today my lesson was basically focused on teaching you adverbs and types of adverbs, how to use adverbs in sentences and their positions, and I of course gave you a detailed account of adverbs, and I believe that my lesson was useful to you, and I hope that you might have noted down the things that you wanted and felt important like. So I'm going to wind up the lesson at this, and let's meet again with another lesson like this, and stay safe. Goodbye.